Nevis Range outside Afghanistan, Fort William, and I'm all up way up in the Gondola to conduct an experiment in biohacking. So I'm going to see whether by conducting conscious breathing works or respiratory physiology, whether I can actually improve my performance on 2 back-to-back runs on the toughest trail in the UK. Toughest and most physiological and I think mentally demanding trail. When you got to do it the first time of the month, and it is everything and more than you'll see on camera. It's rough, it's tough, it's long, and it's physically demanding, and it's mentally demanding as well. So I'm going to see whether I can just do a run, do the commentary, go back up, do this breath work to see if I can change my blood work, my biochemistry, make my blood more alkaline. Hopefully delay the onset of that, what people refer to as lactic acid. It's actually lactate, but interchangeable just due to a change in a proton, hydrogen ion. So the lactate threshold, something you can do through intense exercise and a proper training regime. You can improve that, the lactate threshold. I'm going to see whether I can do it just by using breath work and focus and a mindset, and then compare them side by side and see whether my body's physiologically be able to sort of delay this onset, and hopefully by doing the focus mindset, the second tenet of the Wim Hof Method, we'll see if that'll help as well. So as I said, this is based on the Wim Hof Method. If you don't know who he is, I'll put a link in the description. The Dutchman, he came up with this method similar to if you're similar to Tibetan Tumo breathing. The Tibetan monks do that, and generating heat and cold, or pranayama, various other breathing exercises. But this is a way of changing your blood, changing your biochemistry, changing your mindset, increasing adrenaline, increasing the epinephrine, so you'll get more focused, more ready for that fight or flight response, and effectively seeing if I can hack my mind and my body to increase my performance. It's all in theory. It's how I do every day. I don't think I've really done it in terms of one particular activity. I have done it to see for help for recovery. But effectively, oxygen dissimulation is all scientific based. It's not woo, and it's not out there in that kind of new worldly stuff. This is based on science and backed by science, which I'm interested in. I did physiology, sports science, and I've always been interested in ways to improve human performance, and this is one of the things that I'm looking into. So it's not going to be a randomised double-blind study. I'm just working with the tools that I've got today, using the gondola to help me, so that I'm not going to be any more tired from the lifts, and hopefully I'll be fully recovered between each run. First run will be the one where I'm going to do it without any method, just getting up there, do my commentary top to bottom, then repeat the same run and do it with the breath work and the focus to the tenets of the Wim Hof Method. So that's the theory, and let's just see if it works and see if there's a way to make it quicker on your mountain bike on the trails. So let's go. Okay, so here we go. Top Chief, and it's just going to be a run with commentary, and see the difference between this and when I repeat the same thing using the Wim Hof Method. To the right you'll see the blue, which I did there when I warmed up, came out the car. I was going to put a video on for that, there's no point. Loads of people have got it on and mixed reviews and whatnot, but I think it will run better once they get the feedback, and maybe when it gets wetter and gets more bedded in, add some feature. But we're not doing the blue today anymore, again I should say. Just going to add, this is going to be wow, it's loose. Really loose. Like I said, I didn't really get to do this one properly. Or I did, I should say, but I didn't get to do all my runs. Some poor person had a bit of an accident, but at least I know what to expect from the trail. Oh, almost made a mess of that. Ruffling him, I remembered. Thanks to McTrail Rider for the tip. I watched this video a few times to let me know what to expect, and if you haven't already seen it, I'm sure you have. Anyone, I think every mountain biker's seen it. Excellent guide for these trails. Forgotten how it's only got to do this a couple of times, and okay, so that's where we're joining the blue now, and this has added 20-30 seconds onto the trail. So I think anyone had their previous ideas of beating the PRs will have to do something special now for Top Chief, because this edition here maybe it might start running a bit better, I think, when more traffic. There are some of the corners which is where of no use to anyone, but and that's the blue straight ahead there, but rejoin the red. Yeah, when I was here last time, it was bone dry. I know I said I was going to be doing commentary, but maybe not. Bash guard. This is the bit I got wrong last time. Oh, it just kills all your speed. Now, my thighs are already feeling the burn. That's the production of lactate. I need to get more oxygen. Break that down, let it pyruvate cycle, release more glucose, and this would hopefully will demonstrate by my hands, arm pump, building up, a couple of these wee climbs again, and when you get tired, start making mistakes like that, like pedal striking when I didn't have to. Oh. Man, it's going to be a tough experiment, but climbs. Take a wee seat for a second. I'll be taking much the same lines. I don't know this track well enough to get creative yet, so okay, well, like I said, I don't know track well. I've been making the same mistakes both runs. So I'm thinking I already had enough adrenaline at the thought of doing this. I don't know how much more if I generate using the method, whether it's going to be a help or a hindrance. Is it going to put me more into my fight rather than flight. Am I going to be, I don't have too much epinephrine, too much adrenaline, like everything else in life, so a bit balance. And mindset plays a lot in mountain biking, as well as physical fitness. Some days it's the mental edge that makes a difference. And that's not even the hard part yet. Hard part's coming up. Oh, can I leave you rest before we get into the silly rock garden? Oh, that's good. I'm just going to do this line. I've not seen anybody. Last one was up doing the other one. I've seen plenty of videos, but I'd like to actually see somebody in the flesh do it, so I can gauge the line better. Oh, awkwardly bit coming up here. Thighs on fire, particularly my rear one, my left one. Oh man, oh man. My time splits will be at this deer fence, and then I would have separate timing of both runs from the deer fence onwards. So this will be the first split there, and I'll do that for my Wim Hof Method as well. And the second one will be down here. I think my tyres are too hard. I'm over braking. Triceps now, enjoying the lactic pain. Got a front delt as well, just the steeper stuff and heavier braking. This track is no joke. I think this is like a Frank Sinatra, New York. Lyrics there almost. I was going to say, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. It is like that. I think it's got a little bit of different terrain, different challenges, strength, endurance, lines, commitment, and I think this would make you a good rider down a Monroe. So that's something I'm going to tackle a bit more, and it's a good training ground, I think. I suppose my trail rider, I'm sure he'd probably be one of the greatest exponents of this. He seems to have done this more than any other track he's done, and coincidentally more Monroes. Yeah, my grip strength, I'm gulping air down, and that's me just trying to take that oxygen, trying to get rid of the waste products of carbon dioxide and lactate, see if we can get to recycle them, get some more glucose, ATP, start firing you up. You remember, our bodies are just like energy cells, and you gotta keep them fine-tuned as well. So there you go, boom, out the bottom. Right, wow, that's more intense than I think I remembered. Holy crap, that'll wake you up. And that'll be the timed section at the bottom. So that's it. No breathing method apart from standard breathing. No focus meditation apart from the fear of seeing the signs saying top chief and having the walkers looking at you as you head off. Yeah, so that's my baseline. Nothing crazy there. No rider stopped me, no offs. Everything was between the tapes, so to speak. So go back up, chill in the gondola, and put all this stuff into practice. Run it back again, and let's see what happens. Harder than remembered. So that's top chief. Now I'm going to do what I've set out to do, the experiment. We'll be doing the respiration, physiology, breath work, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to see if I can hack my body, hack my body's physiology, blood biochemistry, all that thing. Tell me if we can be stronger and longer for the short-term effects that I'll get from this breath work, and also to see if I can artificially increase, well, artificially, I'll be doing it consciously through conscious breath work to get more adrenaline released into the bloodstream, hopefully get faster reactions, more focus, get the meditative mindset and at the task in hand, and just see how it all comes together. And like I said, from a science background, so I'm not doing this by I like to sort of things have evidence-based. This is all scientifically backed. I'm trying to see how it works on a thing like an uplift day, and to see whether I can be faster on the mountain bike by employing this protocol into it, see if it'll help me. Maybe something I know some elite athletes, this might become common practice in years to come. But as for now, I just want to see your average kind of weekend warrior, to see whether it'll improve your commitment, which mountain bike is very important for, and also for the physiological side of things. So all we can do is get up there. I'll save you the bit where I'm going to do the breath work up the top, and the focus and meditation style thing. Don't worry, I'm not going to wrap myself in sheets and sit cross-legged on top of Ben Nevis. Not today anyway. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. Next thing you'll see will be the video of me going down there with the clock running and comparing side to side, see if there is any difference. And if there is, I'll do some talking in the editing. Well, I'll put some voiceovers to fill in the bits, let you know what's going on from a physiological and psychological point of view. So enough of that, let's get back up and let's get this experiment underway. C'est parti!
Okay, here we go. Breath work done, got the baseline recording. This is going to be a shortened version of the trail. I'm just going to use to highlight any points, any time differences, and give you a background into what we're trying to achieve. I'm trying to postpone the point of lactic acidification. That's later on the trail, but that's going to be where the lactate threshold's reached and your body's not clearing the amount of lactate it's producing and waste products as it's using. So that can lead to the muscles not being able to contract properly, and which gives that feeling of fatigue, which will then lead to failure. And you'll probably experience that if you do any kind of serious climbs, any good workouts and descents, and that's what I'm trying to mitigate from here. So the breathing exercise can help with that, and obviously to release more adrenaline, glucose and ATP to keep the body fueled up and focused. And that focus is coming into play here, so it's not so much physical, this is psychological. And as you can see here, I'm carrying more speed into these sections. And we're now 3 seconds up from the baseline run, not really a lot, and I lose some of it here, which can even things out because my foot comes off the pedal, I don't get the cranks in, and almost stall on these kind of awkward stepping stones. But as I said, this stage in the run, we're still early into it, so we're not really getting to the point where the muscles are producing too much kind of waste products, and obviously trying to make my blood as alkaline as possible to help with that. This is psychological. First time I did this was just the other month, and I'm carrying more speed in the baseline run, and I'm more focused and determined, and it was less overwhelming, I found, with my mindset. The problem being, I carry a little bit too much speed, and there's a jump around the corner where I can get sent off almost to the inside, and just managed to hold it. A bit sketchy, but again here I'm now getting close towards the end of the boardwalk. By the time I finish the end of the boardwalk, I'm 8 seconds up, and that extra speed, as you can see when I come off from the left hand here, the front wheel drifts towards the end, almost comes off right there. So we're still kind of fairly early in the run, still psychological, but I'm riding a little bit more aggressively, and this section here you need that, as you can see. So straight through, that aggression has helped to deal with the overall kind of violence of the trail at this point. It's still kind of quite physical, still building up, but we're now getting to see into the run now. This is where you start really feeling the effects of that lactate, and like I said, this is via the, if you want to know, it's using the kind of the breathing can activate the Cori cycle. Cori cycle is a way to get rid of the lactate and cycle it in the liver to create more glucose. It's gluconeogenesis. It's basically a way of cycling the stuff and the products to use that, and then get the glucose back into the muscles to help use that. So at this point, what I'm finding is I've got a little bit more power in turning the cranks than the previous one. I know it up here I managed to pop. I was using obviously whole body to go up this section here, and it did feel a little bit easier. Still not easy by any shape or form, but definitely the perception was it did feel easier, and it's borne out in the times that I'm now at this point about 11 seconds up. So we're still going to get to the big rock garden section. I'm using the exact same lines pretty much. I looked at the two videos back to back, and my front wheel is pretty much tracking as he did in the baseline run. That's just because I'm not overly familiar with the trail, so it's a case I haven't been able to get creative with the lines and see different options, and just going for pretty much the same line as I did on the original baseline run. This is now arm pump, grip strength, everything is starting to feel it. As I come off this end of the boardwalk before we hit this rock garden section, I am up, I think it's 23 seconds I'm up here. And at this point I'm really just feeling, I'm kind of flowing with the trail from my point of view. I know people are obviously doing this a lot quicker, but from my point of view, it didn't feel as rough, it didn't feel as overwhelming, and I was just enjoying it. I didn't notice as much the overall fatigue setting in. I just seemed to be kind of get the bike and I were moving as well as I could, and I was kind of happy with the way the bike was, just the way I was feeling on the bike. I think at the end of this rock garden, I've made up another further 7 seconds over my overall time. And again, the reason I'm not using Strava because it's relying on GPS, which can be very inaccurate. It means the GPS drift, and where the start points and end points are, they will fluctuate. And for the purpose of the experiment, I needed to have a visual recording along with a timer, so I could time exactly where the front wheel was and where it was on the track, so to give me a more accurate reading. So as you can see here, the initial one I went through in 9:08, there 8:38, so a full 30 seconds up on the original run. And probably one of the key moments, or the key differences for me, is that the deeper I'm getting into this, the more I'm building up an advantage on my original run. So the actual times I'm pulling further and further away, the deeper into the run, and the more tired and more physical and mentally exhausted you'd be from the trail. I seem to be handling that better. So we're getting towards the end of the trail in this next section here, and I finished the original baseline run in 11:42 from the fire road, from the very top where it says Top Chief, to the bottom in 11:42, and this one I come through in 11:02, so it's 40 seconds up. And end X, so there you go. I'm quite happy with the way the experiment went in terms of managed to control as many variables as possible, and the end result was 40 seconds quicker after doing the Wim Hof Method. Well, two of the pillars of the Wim Hof Method, which is the breath work and the commitment, or the focus mindset type thing. So that's something that's
quite interested me quite a lot. I'm always looking for biohacking and performance hacking, stuff like that, whatever you want to call it, just basically self-improvement. And this is something I'm going to incorporate into my training regime. I already do it on a daily basis, but that's for its other benefits. If you want to know more about that, I'll put a link in the description. It's got a free app if you want to try it out, and a link to the website for more information. As a wee experiment, if you want to improve, if you want to test it out yourself, try this. You can do this easily, do as many press-ups as you can, do one round of the Wim Hof Method, the basic breathing exercise, and in the exhale retention, repeat it and do as many press-ups you can do again. And I think you'll be very surprised to see the difference. It can be up to 2 or 3 times as much. Let me know what you get on with that one if you want to try it out. So again, that's a link in the description. The other link I'm going to add will be to Andrew Huberman. Andrew Huberman is a professor in neurobiology and ophthalmology at Stanford University in America, and his laboratory is leading some great research in terms of physical improvements, mental improvements, and overall lifestyle improvements. And it may be not something particularly for yourself. If you're not interested in that, but maybe for other friends or family, you know, maybe you could benefit from the information there. As you're probably now aware, I made a decision to demonetize the channel, so there'll be no more adverts on the channel, so you don't have to worry about that. You can just watch the videos from start to finish. And the reason being is I just think that social media has become a marketing and advertising juggernaut, and with the AI and the way the phones are learning and everything else on what to do, you're getting more and more products directly placed at you, and maybe things you don't really want, maybe ones you can't afford, or ones you don't even need or anything like that. And I just don't want to be responsible for that, so I can step away from that. I don't want to be a cog in that kind of machine there. And that's just a personal choice. What I have done, however, is each video will be dedicated towards a charity. The last one being the Cancer Protection League. This one's for the Dogs Trust. Dogs Trust is a very worthwhile charity, and I've got a secure link directly from the website, clickable, and you can make a one-off donation for whatever you want. So if you find the content useful, it's helped you, it's maybe going to help you in your life, your performance, or in your mountain bike, to maybe get that PR or get a com, or maybe just overall self-improvement, and this has kind of helped you in that direction, you can show the appreciation and put whatever you meant towards that charity, and that's good. I'm happy with that. And oh yes, lastly, a bit of bonus footage coming up. I finished off doing the experiment, as you can see there. This next part coming up is the lower half, not the black part of the trail, but it's still called Top Chief. It's called Wild Goat, and I spotted Mr. Top Chief himself. He was just dropping in, so I went along, followed down the trail after him to get to see Top Chief in action on his namesake trail, and I caught him at the end, had a wee chat about the experiment and whatnot. So yeah, you can watch and see what you think of the bottom half of the bottom part of that trail. And that's it for just now. If you're any questions or comments, I'll always get back to you, and if you want to see more stuff like this, you know, let me know. But until the next one, thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Catch you later, guys. Bye. I think that might be Joe Barnes up ahead. If it is, I ain't catching him. But maybe he's in a warm-up lap. It looks like his bike. You can still see him. There's that. Damn, I hope it is him. Someone very quick anyway. Chasing Mr. Top Chief. There he is there. So disappointed if this isn't him. I'm absolutely hauling. Damn, he's quick. Whoever he is. Is it? Moment of truth. Is that Joe Barnes? Don't be a stalker. Is that an orange? Stage 6. There it is. Mr. Barnes. You don't know me. I just recognise the bike. I'm Derek. Pleased to meet you.
Nice to meet you. What's your name?
I clocked the bike. I follow you on Instagram and whatnot.
Nice.
And somebody pointed out at the top was why top chief.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to come down. So I thought I had a glorious opportunity. And you went down the blue. Oh jeez.
The top of the not the best, but I can say when it crosses over,
Yeah.
top you can go down. Bottom bits, I don't really.
Yeah. Well, let me show you.